Welcome into politics. Today we're going to be going through my prediction for the 2024 presidential election. We'll be starting off by characterizing the safe seats. So these are seats that for each respective party are likely to remain in that column, and pretty much nothing could happen. I'll change that. Pretty much nothing could happen that would make it a competitive state. We got a few more here. Iowa, Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, much of the South, and then we'll get up here, we got that one, Vermont, safe blue, New York, safe blue, and then much of the Northeast is in the safe blue column. And then DC, of course, in the safe blue column. And I believe that should be all of the completely safe states. They're, characterize Ohio as safe. That is very likely going to be going to the Republican candidate, in this case, Donald Trump. And now we are left with some other states here. We're going to give Maine to the Democrats too, except for, I believe it's the 2nd district that will go towards the Republican Party. So this is the map of these 212 electoral college votes are going to be what determines who will become the next president of the United States following the 2024 presidential election. We'll be going through, and then, I believe I forgot state of Alaska and Hawaii. So we'll be starting on the West Coast, and then we'll move eastward with each of these projected swing states. So here we'll add some additional characterizations to help get a more clear picture of how I believe that this will unfold. So we'll start out with some of the likely states for the Republican Party. And the Republicans are going to get quite a few electoral college votes. They're going to get the state of Texas, as well as the state of Florida. And that should be all for the Republican Party. And then on the Democrat level, we're going to give the state of New Hampshire to the Democratic Party. Different characterization there, but that state is likely to go towards the Democratic Party. And then we'll go with the state of Minnesota. We'll maybe give we'll give each of these a lean margin. And let's see, are there any likely states for the Democratic Party? I don't believe there are. That should be all of them we'll go with New Mexico and Colorado are very likely to go towards Biden in this election. And after that leaves us with 214 electoral college votes for the Democratic candidate, Joe Biden, and 218 for the Republican candidate, Donald Trump. So now we're going to be going into some of the states that are lean. So I've already characterized the Democratic ones. We got the state of Minnesota as well as New Hampshire. And then we're going to characterize this as likely blue in Maine. And then now we're going to start to move over to some of the lean Republican states. So I think there's likely only one that is going to occur in this round of elections, and I'd give that to the state of North Carolina. The Biden campaign is putting in significant efforts to try and expand on their electoral college victory from 2020 by adding the state of North Carolina. Unless something major changes, I don't see that North Carolina voting blue is a likely situation. We'll see what happens, but at the moment, if the election were to be held today, I would be giving the state of North Carolina to Donald Trump in lean Republican characterization. So now we're left, and then we'll give the state of Virginia to the Democrats, we'll go likely. There we go, and then there we go, and bring North Carolina back to lean. Okay, so after that leaves us with 227 electoral college votes for the Democrats to 234 for the Republicans. Leaves us with the 6 swing states. These 77 ever-important electoral college votes are going to determine who is the next president of the United States. So we'll get started on the West Coast and move eastward. So in the state of Nevada, the polls are looking pretty good for Trump. I would give that. I don't think any of these states are going to be a lean. These are all likely going to be tilt states. maybe with the exception of one, but we'll get to that state when we get there. But for Nevada, I don't think it's going to be, some of the polls have Trump up by 5 or so. I doubt that's going to happen. If this state were to go to Trump, it would likely be by 1, maybe 2 points, but I don't see a 5-seat or a 5-point victory happening in the state of Nevada. Next up, we get to the state of Arizona. In Arizona, there's going to be an abortion initiative on the ballot that's likely to help drive up Democratic support and will help in the polls. It's going to be a close state, but at the moment I would give it narrowly to the Trump campaign. I think Trump's lead in the polls and is likely to, it was an incredibly close state in 2020, and I think Trump's lead in the polls is likely to bring him the victory in the state of Arizona. Next up, we get to the state of Georgia. So Georgia, I could even see possibly being lean, but for now we're just going to go with the tilt towards the Republican Party. I believe it was the closest state in the 2020 presidential elections. The Atlanta metro area really carried Biden the victory there, but there have been some weakened support happening in the Atlanta metro area that is likely to be detrimental for the Biden campaign in being able to win the state of Georgia. We'll have to see what happens, but that's likely the prediction for now. Next up, we get to these 3 ever-important Rust Belt states. I do think that that Biden is doing fairly well in the state of Wisconsin. I do think it'll be a very close state, but we'll narrowly give it to the Democratic candidate, in this case Joe Biden. And then we have 2 states left, so we have the state of Michigan. Michigan, according to the couple forecasts, is likely to be going towards the Democratic Party. It is certainly close, and these polls are all within the margin of error, or many of them are. And then next up, and finally, we get to the state of Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania's got quite a few electoral college votes. It's got 19, which is going to really be the deciding factor in which party is able to win the White House. The Republican candidate, in this case Donald Trump, would only need 3 more electoral college votes to win. Well, the Democratic candidate, Joe Biden, would need 18. So he would, and I do think that the Biden campaign, with his slight lead in the national polls, is going to likely narrowly take the state of Pennsylvania. We'll have to see what happens. I could certainly see the state of Wisconsin flipping red, which would hand the victory to Donald Trump. We'll have to see what happens. I think there's a likely possibility where Arizona and Wisconsin are going to switch, but that would still result in a Biden victory. He would have 2 more electoral college votes than he needs. We'll have to see what happens, though. It's going to certainly be an interesting election. I'm going to keep my eyes on the debate, and I'll be making another video about that, but feel free to let me know if you disagree with my characterizations, but don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks, bye.